Hello, dear students. Let's move on to our topic, The Flying Sikh by Milkha Singh. In the last class, we have talked about the introduction to Milkha Singh, his biography, about his family, about his career, and different awards he has received. So, we have talked about that in the previous video lecture. So, now in this particular lecture, we are moving forward to our text. And we have the text The Flying Sikh. Actually, this text, this extract, it has been taken from Milkha Singh's original autobiography. The autobiography of Milkha Singh is The Race of My Life and Autobiography. So this work has composed by Milkha Singh and his daughter. Combinedly, they prepared this, and from that autobiographical work, we have The Flying Sikh as an essay. Actually, in that autobiography, we have different topics, means different incidents of his life he has discussed in different sections, and you can see there are near about 20 such sections are there, and these 20 different topics he has talked about different incidents of his life. So all these elements you can read in his original autobiography, The Race of My Life. And for our study, presently we have this topic number 11, The Flying Sikh. It is a section from his original biography. So let's move on to our section, The Flying Sikh. In this section, we will read the original text, paragraph, and then we will talk about that. So this is autobiographical text, and that's why it has been communicated in first person narrative. Okay, so let's begin with this. My triumph at the Commonwealth Games had elevated my status to such a level that I was now an international sports celebrity. Between 1958 and 1960, I received numerous invitations from different countries and traveled throughout the world, participating in at least 80 international races, out of which I own 77. Now, this is the story. Miss, a lot different things has happened before that, and particularly in this text, he is beginning with his international career as an athlete or as a runner, and here he talks about different achievements. And at the beginning, he says his achievement at Commonwealth Games elevated his status. Elevated means it made him famous throughout the world. He became an international sports celebrity because of the his achievements in Commonwealth Games. And when he becomes such an international sports celebrity, he has been called in 2 years. See, he is talking about 1958 and 1960. In between that, he received numerous invitations, but among that he participated in 80 international races, and out of that 80 international races he won 77. See, wherever he was participating, he was getting the prize. So such personality he was, and he is telling about this from his life. The international press featured glowing articles on my life and achievements because wherever I went, I broke the old 400-meter records, establishing new ones. Milkha Singh was expert in 400 meters running, and because of that, wherever he has participated, he broke out the previous records that has been made previously. He was so fastest and a different personality, and that's why the international press also featured him. Different articles were being written on Milkha Singh, his achievements, his life, and he became a celebrity. And all this happened because of his hard working, because of his the game that he showed. And this was obviously an he was an athlete and a runner. So let's move. In 1960, the much awaited Olympic Games was to take place in Rome. I was very excited. This would be my second Olympics after Melbourne in 1956. In the years since then, I had matured and grown as an athlete and was now at my peak. Perhaps I would have better luck this time. Now, see, he is talking about this Olympic Games. Means this is the second time he was waiting for Olympic Games, which has to be taken in Rome. That was in 1960. It means this was the second. It means before that he has participated, and that was in 1956. In 1956, he has participated in Melbourne Olympics, but he get failed into it, and that's why he was eagerly waiting for the second chance, and that he get in 1960. So he was very excited when these Olympic Games they were coming very closer. And in between that 4 years, means from first Olympic to the second Olympic, he has matured. Matured means the abilities of an athlete, abilities, the strength, everything he has gathered because he made some of the mistakes in the previous Olympics, and that's why he prepared himself very well this time, and so I would have better luck this time. And he was hoping that this time he will do something great in the second Olympic. But before that, in January, I was to participate in the national games at Delhi's National Stadium. And before that Olympic, he is telling us about one of the incident, and that is in the January, he has to participate in the national games at Delhi's National Stadium. And in that stadium, in that game, what has been happened? My sister, Ishar is Milkha Singh's sister. As in the introduction, we have talked about her. They came to India, and because of the partition of India and Pakistan, so all these bloody past is there also. So his sister Ishar and her family, they were very keen to see me run. Yes, Milkha Singh was there, and so he invited all of them. They had heard of my exploits but had never watched me on the track. I happily invited them for the event. I was overjoyed to see them, especially my beloved sister Isha, who had sold her gold earrings to secure my release from jail all those years ago. Yes, there is an attachment of brother and sister, and his brother, she has married already, and her family, they were very much excited because Milkha Singh, he and her sister, only two people are there in India from his family, because at the time of partition, you might have seen in the movie how whole his family, they have been killed or murdered at the time of partition of India Pakistan. So only these two brother and sister are there now, and the remaining family, it was of her sister's family. So all these people, they wanted to watch Milkha Singh on the track. They wanted him to see on the track while running, and that's why Milkha Singh also happily invited all of them for this event in Delhi. And this incident, why he was telling, see, he has the strong attachment because he wanted his beloved sister, that was Ishar, who had sold her gold earrings to secure his release from the jail. Once upon a time, when he was in the jail, at that time, his sister sold her earring, and she helped him to get out of the jail. So such a type of affection and the love between brother and sister, that has been expressed here. When I greeted her, she said, "Dear brother, you have endured terrible hardships and trials, but now good fortune has smiled upon you and us because of you." And when they met at that time, he greeted her. And then Ishwar also told, "Dear brother, you have endured terrible hardships, miss. A lot hard work you have did, different trials, miss. What past was there? Difficulties of the life. He has faced so many hardships throughout his life that we have talked in introduction also. So after all these hardships, problems, and after overcoming all these, now this was something good is going to happen with Milka's life, and obviously with because of him, the life of uh, the family of his sister also. So she talked like that. And don't get exhausted by running so fast. She what this is that when he is running, don't get exhausted by running so fast, because that is the love of a sister about her brother or any family members. But this is the game of running, and obviously we have to be best, we have to be fastest, I will say. So that was natural, but it was the care and love of sister that has been communicated here. And her love and concern overwhelmed me, and I embraced her warmly, at the same time assuring her that running did not debilate my body. Instead, it gave me added strength. And Milkha Singh, in return to that, what he says, he hugged his sister and he says, running never debilate. Debilate means it doesn't make him faint, or instead of that, it doesn't make him exhaust, but instead it provides strength to him. Strength to him. Means when he run, automatically he gains the strength. And he says like that. She responded with tears in her eyes, my dear brother, your name is like a shining star in the world today, and you have raised the honor of our family enormously. This what their family, how they get killed. So all these things, if Milkha Singh would not have been there, if he would not have been uh, there in this games and all these things, or if he would not have been there in the focus, see what about their families, or who might have known about the family of Milkha Singh and Milkha Singh himself? No one. And because of his hard work, his this practice of running and all these, because of that only, he and his family is there in the focus that become known to the world. And this is being communicated by her by his sister. So if only our parents were alive to see what you have achieved. And they mourns on their family members, which they have been killed in the Pakistan, or the then time Lahore, at the time of partition. Now, happy and proud they would have been. I wiped her tears gently and tried to console her. Who can fight fate? Perhaps I would never have reached such pinnacles of success if I hadn't endured those early days of austerity and adversity. Now, these elements means to gain the strength and to do the hard work. All these things means he says if that no one can change the fate, because that is the past. Okay, the family members, they have been killed. So all these elements, that was the past of Milkha Singh, and that cannot be changed. And he has faced that difficulties uh, throughout his life, hard conditions of the life, and because of that itself, all these conditions made him stronger and stronger. And because of these hardships of his previous life, now he is at such a position, and he's telling like that to his sister. Okay. My sister was unaware of the little surprise I had planned for her. Okay. I asked her to put on my India blazer. And after that, Milkha Singh had a plan for his sister, and she was unaware about that. And so Milkha Singh gave his trouser, that is a blazer, India blazer that sportsman used to wear, and he gave that to his sister and asked her to wear that. And once she did, I asked her to put her hands in the side pockets of the blazer. And when she put on that blazer, at that time, Milkha asked his sister to put her hands in the side pocket of the blazer, and I had put gold earring in each of the pockets. These are for you, I told her. She took the earrings and just couldn't stop crying. And after that, this that was a surprise for her. And when she put her hands into that pocket, she find two earrings there. Okay, in both the hands she got the earrings, and when she saw that earrings, she took the earrings and she started crying. Yes, she could not stop crying continually. She was crying, and that was because of love and overwhelming. Inside the stadium, I ordered tea and fruit for my family, but Ishore demurred, saying, "Why are you going through all these trouble for us? We have already had tea." Her simple remarks filled me with affection as I led them into the stadium. As we entered, I felt the crowd staring at their simple attire with disdain. For a moment, I felt embarrassed, but then was filled with loathing at people's snobbing attitudes. With great love and consideration, I made them sit in the best seats and stayed with them until my event began. Let's see. When these people they entered into the stadium, and inside that stadium, now Milkha Singh, he was an athlete. He was a sportsman, but all other family, his sister and her family members, they were common people with their traditional common attire, clothes. So in simple way, they reached to the stadium, and that's why her his sister, she told this it would be a bit difficult for them, because it would be a bit troublous for us. They are going there, and he offered tea, then some of the fruit for the members of that family, and that would cause some of the problems for them as they think, because they are just from simple family. They are looking their attires, their clothes, all these things were very much common, and they get a bit hesitated. And the same thing happened when they arrived at that time. What had happened, the whole stadium, it was looking to Milkha Singh and also the family members. And as they entered, I felt the crowd staring at their simple attire with disdain. Means everyone was looking at the family members of Milkha Singh. And for that, Milkha Singh also, for a little time, he also get embarrassed because of that. But suddenly, he took all of them to the well place, means best seats in that stadium, and he also stayed with them uh, for uh, for some time till his event going to begin. Yes, before his event would get started, before that he continually stayed with the with his sister and her family, and this stadium conti- so here we will stop. Okay, in the next class we will move on to the another paragraph. So till the time, continue studying at home and be safe. Thank you very much.